You feel it, do you not? That sense that something is off. That you are meant for more, but somehow life keeps pulling you back. You try, you hustle, you tell yourself this time will be different, and yet it is not. You wake up tired, not just physically, but mentally, like you are dragging the weight of every missed opportunity behind you. And no matter how many motivational videos you watch, podcasts you listen to, or routines you try to start, nothing really changes. But here is the truth. You will stay broke, stuck, and miserable if you do not understand what I'm about to tell you. This is not about working harder. It is not about time management. It is not even about luck. It is about your programming, your mental blueprint. And most people go their entire lives never realizing it was installed in them long before they could choose it. Between the ages of 0 and 7, your brain operated in a state called theta, the same state used in hypnosis. That means your mind was wide open. Everything you saw, heard, and felt became part of your operating system. Did your parents constantly stress about money? Did you grow up hearing, "We can't afford that"? Were you told to be realistic, play it safe, or money is the root of all evil? Those were not just words. They became commands, and you are still obeying them. The beliefs you absorbed during childhood created your money script, your unconscious relationship with wealth, struggle, and self-worth. That is why some people chase success, but feel guilty when they start winning. That is why others sabotage themselves just when life starts to improve. They are not lazy. They are following the emotional blueprint they never consented to, but deeply internalized. Your subconscious does not care about your goals. It cares about what is familiar. And if stress, scarcity, dysfunction are what feel familiar, then success, peace, and freedom will feel threatening. So you stay in toxic relationships. You procrastinate the big opportunities. You spend money you do not have just to feel something. This is not a personal flaw. It is psychological survival. But in today's world, that survival instinct is keeping you broke. You might say, "But I want success. I'm trying." Yes, consciously you are. But your subconscious, which controls 95% of your behavior, is still stuck in the past. Think about it. You can read all the books, journal every day, make vision boards, but if you still believe you are not good enough, or that rich people are greedy, or that failure is dangerous, you will unconsciously create just enough struggle to match that belief. Look closely at your life, the job you tolerate, the relationships you attract, the money you make, and how fast it disappears. These are all shaped by your inner thermostat, set by your early beliefs. You do not get what you want. You get what you believe you deserve. And unless you bring these unconscious beliefs to the surface, they will run your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So if you are stuck in cycles, financially, emotionally, spiritually, it is not because you are cursed. It is because you are conditioned. But here is the good news. What was programmed into you can also be reprogrammed. And that begins with something deeper than money or motivation. It begins by confronting emotional poverty, the invisible chain holding everything in place. Most people think poverty begins in the bank account, but that is not where it starts. It begins in the heart, in the mind, and in the nervous system. It begins the moment a person internalizes the belief that they are not worthy, not capable, not safe. That is emotional poverty, and it is the real trap. When you grow up in chaos, chaos becomes comfortable. If you were raised around stress, yelling, anxiety, or neglect, your body learned to normalize survival mode. You became wired for dysfunction. And now, as an adult, you unconsciously seek out situations that recreate that emotional climate. You chase people who ignore you. You sabotage peace because it feels unfamiliar. You reject stability, not because you hate it, but because a nervous system trained in war does not trust calm. So you might get the raise, but spend it recklessly. You might start the business, but stop showing up when it gains traction. You might find someone who treats you well, but push them away when they get too close, because part of you believes you do not deserve it. Emotional poverty says, do not shine too bright. Do not dream too big. Do not trust too deeply. And over time, that mindset leaks into your finances, your relationships, your self-worth. It convinces you to settle for less. And worse, it convinces you that settling is noble. How many people have you seen who defend their struggle as if it is their identity? They say things like, at least I'm not like those greedy rich people, or money isn't everything, or I'm okay just getting by. But deep down, they are not okay. They are just afraid. Afraid to face the internal lies they were sold as truth. Afraid to step out of their old story, even if it is suffocating them. Afraid of what healing might demand from them. That is the cycle. You feel unworthy, so you avoid opportunities. You avoid opportunities, so you stay stuck. You stay stuck, and it confirms your belief that nothing will ever change. That is not fate. That is feedback. And unless you break the emotional contract you made with struggle, nothing external will save you. Not money, not a mentor, not another self-help book. Because you will keep dragging your old identity into every new chapter, you cannot build a new life with the same blueprint that broke you. You have to become someone else, internally. Not a fake, pretend version of yourself, but a version who dares to believe something different. This means sitting with the parts of you that feel unsafe in success. The parts that associate peace with boredom. The parts that are addicted to urgency, drama, and being needed. Because the truth is, most people are not afraid of failure. They are afraid of what success will demand from them. Responsibility, visibility, vulnerability. Success is not just more money. It is more exposure, more decisions, more pressure. And if you have spent your life hiding behind excuses, then success will feel like a threat. That is why people crash right when things start working. It is not self-destruction. It is self-protection. But protection from what? From the unfamiliar. From the unknown version of you that exists beyond the chaos. From the truth that your past does not have to dictate your future. And here is the beautiful part. You can rewrite it. Every belief, every fear, every identity you were handed, you can challenge all of it. You are not your trauma. You are not your family's limitations. You are not the struggle you inherited. You are what you choose to become. And to become that version, you must confront the shadow, the silence, the subconscious scripts running your life. You must create internal wealth first, emotional regulation, peace of mind, clarity, conviction. Because when you do that, financial wealth becomes a byproduct, not a chase. But how? That is what comes next. How to reprogram your subconscious, shift your identity, and break free from the cycle for good. You cannot escape a prison you do not know you are in. That is why awareness is the beginning of freedom. The moment you realize that your thoughts are not facts, that your beliefs were inherited, not chosen, that is the moment you begin to wake up. So how do you reprogram yourself? It starts with silence. Not just the absence of noise, but the presence of reflection. When you sit with your thoughts without distraction, you start to hear the scripts playing on repeat. You begin to notice the patterns, the self-talk, the excuses, the stories you tell yourself to avoid change. Pay attention to those. Question them. Ask, who gave me this belief? Was it your parents, teachers, society? A past version of you? Most of your limitations were handed to you by people who did not even know they were passing them on. That means they are not sacred. They can be let go. Next, get honest about what you are avoiding. Is it discipline, responsibility, visibility? Sometimes it is not that you are unmotivated. It is that your subconscious believes that growth is dangerous, that change will isolate you, that success will make people hate you. Those beliefs must be brought to the surface and challenged. Then, begin identity work. Instead of asking, what do I want? Ask, who do I need to become? What habits does that version of you have? How do they speak, think, react? You must act like that version before your reality reflects it. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity. It means you can rewire your patterns through consistent action and emotional repetition. Visualization, affirmations, journaling. They are not magic. They are practice. They are rehearsal for a new self-concept. But you cannot just think your way into a new life. You have to behave differently. That means saying no to what drains you. It means setting boundaries, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means choosing long-term peace over short-term comfort. And it means healing, not just coping. Go back and sit with the wounds, the childhood moments that taught you scarcity, the heartbreaks that made you close off, the failures that convinced you to play small. Grieve them, feel them, then release them, not because they were not real, but because they are no longer relevant. You do not need to stay loyal to an old version of yourself, just because it is familiar. You were not born to suffer. You were not born to just survive. You were born with potential, far beyond what you have been told. But it is not anyone else's job to unlock it. It is yours, and that requires work. Not just external hustle, but internal alignment. The hardest work in the world is becoming conscious in a world that profits off your unconsciousness. But it is also the most rewarding, because once you shift your identity, everything else follows. Your habits, your income, your relationships, your opportunities, they rise to meet your new self. This is not about quick fixes. It is about permanent transformation. You can journal every morning, meditate every night, and still go nowhere if you are not willing to confront what is holding you back. But if you are ready, truly ready, to let go of the lies, the shame, and the fear, if you are ready to rewrite the script, then you will not just escape being broke and miserable. You will build a life so rich in purpose, in peace, in power, that you will not even recognize who you used to be. The truth is, your best life is not waiting for you. It is hidden behind the version of you you are too afraid to become. But once you choose to become them, everything changes.